10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is June 1st, and today's episode is actually covering a lot of things that are not directly Rocket Pool related, but kind of all tie into the ethos, the spirit, the values of Rocket Pool and Ethereum. So I figured that there was some really important conversations going on that we should really cover. So let's get started, right? So here we have this tweet from Fizz. He says, to all Ethereans, take heed, the alarm bells are sounding. Now this tweet kind of sent shockwaves through crypto Twitter yesterday, or like Ethereum Twitter yesterday, and it really got people talking like a whole lot. So let's see what this link is. There's a link to a ETH finance post. So then you go to Reddit, and my computer is being really slow. It needs to be restarted. And there's a post here from Ethical Trade. He says the Lido situation. A total of 19 million ETH is staked on Ethereum. A total of 6 million ETH is staked on Lido. More than 36% of all staked ETH is staked with Lido. More than 32% of all validators are using Lido. Lido is the number one protocol in Ethereum with a TVL of more than 13 billion. That's more than twice the TVL of the second largest project Maker. That's close to 6% of all Ether in existence. The activation of withdrawals by Lido 2 weeks ago had almost no effect on their TVL. Over the past month, Lido's TVL grew by 10.8%. There isn't any reason to expect their share to drop significantly in the future. When Prisma contributed to centralization by having too high a share of the consensus client market, the community launched an initiative aimed at reducing that. This worked fantastically, and Prisma went from being more than 66%, I think at one point it was like 70 or 80%, to now being second behind Lighthouse. No real initiative has been launched in the case of Lido yet. There is no real equivalent to client diversity today, with explanations, education materials, and guides to switch to less centralized options. There is no real pressure by the community. We are really passively waiting for the 33% validator share limit to be crossed in order to start doing anything. Will 1% more really make a difference? As a reminder, Vitalik suggested that no entry should control more than 15% of all validators. Lido already controls twice the stake Vitalik considers to be too much. On May 22nd, 2022, Superfizz wrote that the community action should start at a 22% share. With its 32%, Lido now has 50% more than that, and yet no action has been taken. To our ETH finance friends, Hani Abu, who created Client Diversity, big thanks for that. Is there a similar website planned for staking providers? Rated.network just doesn't do the education job. Please let me and us know if there's anything we can do to help. Feel free to share any idea about what we could do. This problem won't just solve itself. There needs to be a community initiative. And this post has 217 upvotes, which is, I think, the most I've ever seen on ETH Finance daily post. It really got a discussion going on Twitter as well. On Reddit as well. Yorick, he runs a Lido node. He's one of the Lido node operators. He said, "Where does the stake go? Rocket Pool has room right now. If an appreciable amount of stake moves, that'll fill up fast, and then there'll be node operator limited again. Stake-wise has room. It's centralized. Getting up. It's not here yet. Coinbase and Binance are strictly worse than Lido, as they're even more centralized. The Lido at least has 28 unique node operators. My bias, I'm a member of Rocket Pool ODAO, a Stakewise node operator, and a Lido node operator." So Yorick really knows what he's talking about. And right now, this is one of the things that I said as well, is that we really need more truly decentralized, permissionless, open sourced, trustless, like all that good stuff, kind of protocols developing. I was really hoping, Stakewise version 3 would be here by now, because that's what they're promising for that. It's not here yet. I was really hoping that Stader will do some of those jobs. That's not developed yet, and there's some questions about this being centralizing forces in Stader too. I think, sadly, every protocol that comes out has limitations, so we just need more of them, right? Rocket Pool's limitation, of course, last year we saw that we were node operator constrained for a significant period of time. Only now we're not node operator constrained because we've had so many people moving from mini pool 16s to LEP 8s. But eventually, everyone will have migrated, whoever wanted to migrate, and then we might be in a position where we're node operator constrained again. I'm slightly like more hopeful about that, but it's a possibility, right? So there's definitely like limitations in the staking market as a whole, and we really truly need projects to come online ASAP. If anyone wants to fork Rocket Pool, come into the Rocket Pool community and like talk to us, and we will help you fork Rocket Pool. Like, come and talk to us about it. Like, I'll personally be happy for anyone to come along and say that, I'm building a decentralized Ethereum staking project. I will be happy to support you on Rocket Fuel, and point people your way eventually, right? Like once you're battle tested, Lindy tested, all that kind of stuff, like make sure that you're not a rug pull. I will be happy to send people towards you. I had amazing conversations with the team from Stakewise at in Denver. I've even worn a Stakewise shirt while hosting Rocket Fuel. Like these are products I want to support. These are communities that I want to support, because they're doing great things for Ethereum, and that's what comes first. Lido are reaching the point where their existence now is not doing good things for Ethereum, right? Like they're too big, and if anything goes wrong with Lido, like we saw, a slashing recently, if there was a mass slashing event, it would be really, really bad. And like the main thing is, people will say, oh, Lido's 29 node operators, like Yorick here is a node operator with Lido. There's 28 others as well. The problem is that their governance is all through one system, and that is like dubious. Let's just say that might be the most generous way of putting it. Anyway, like I said, Fizz's tweet really like Unethical Trades post, of course, really got a fire started in crypto Twitter and like the staking communities. And Danny Ryan wrote a tweet like not long afterwards, resharing a Git post that he wrote last year, saying repost LSDs above critical consensus thresholds pose risks to the Ethereum protocol. With withdrawals enabled, it's time to reshuffle. Now, Danny Ryan, of course, works with the Ethereum Foundation. There's the issue here about the neutrality of the Ethereum Foundation. Sadly, they're not in a position where they can really say all that much. They can't be seen to be picking winners and losers, because they don't want to be in that situation, right? Like, and that's totally understandable that they don't want to be in that situation. The problem is that it might be that their lack of direct intervention, might be seen as tacit approval for the I don't know, like, of course that's not true, but like, because the Ethereum Foundation is not saying something, people might think that the situation is not dire enough for them, people at the Ethereum Foundation, to say something. There'd be no official statements. But Danny, in his post last year, talked about the risks of LSDs, and here, he actually mentioned Lido a couple of times, and where they're centralized, like governance of node operators, and like how the different strata of centralization, and like the economic selection of node operators, staked ETH governance fallback, insidious nature of governance, risk on capital versus risk to protocol. So in here, he actually mentioned Lido by name and some of the risks involved with Lido. Yesterday, Jasper and the Rocket Pool intern were on fine form on Twitter. Here, Jasper retweeted a section of Danny's writing. He says the Ethereum protocol and users can recover from LSD centralization and governance attack, but it won't be pretty. I recommend that Lido and similar LSD products self-limit for their own sake, and I recommend capital allocators to acknowledge the pooling risks inherent to LSD protocols and designs. The capital allocators should not allocate to LSD protocols exceeding 25% of total staked Ether due to the inherent and extreme risks associated. So, the language is really clear about what the problems here can be posed. Jasper did some really good retweeting yesterday, and like tweet writing of his own, and replying to certain tweets about some of the problems with Lido, facing it head on. And if you have a look as well, the Rocket Pool intern, of course, has their own twist on things. There was a really nice little script they wrote from let me see if I can find it, from yeah, here it is from The Big Short, about how the mortgages are repackaged. So here it's like, Jared, when the market deems sole node operator too centralized to trust, what do you think will happen to it? We just warehouse them on our books? No, they get repackaged with a whole bunch of other centralized operators into Lido. What? It takes a bunch of the blocks and makes a precarious new tower. Lido, Lido, we put a bunch of centralized operators together. When the pile gets large enough, the whole thing's considered decentralized, and the halls in the VC firms rate it to zero threat to Ethereum, no questions asked. Holy hell, say that again. So this is obviously like a play on the scene, the famous scene from The Big Short, where they're explaining how mortgages are repackaged and sold, and the threat levels are reduced. So here, by packaging Lido up into 29 node operators, it can perceive to have the threat reduced as well. So there's a whole lot of issues here to unpack, like way too big the scope for this show and the time that I have, but there's a discussion going, and I think it's on all of us to interact with people in this discussion in a smart, reasonable way. The Rocket Pool community, we already have a reputation as being zealots and evangelists for Rocket Pool and Ethereum staking. That sadly will do us very little favors in the discussion like this, because people will just like dismiss our comments as being ideological or motivated by our bags potentially. Of course, we all know that we are doing this for the health of Ethereum. That comes first, but we should be careful on how we interact with people in these discussions. Try to be kind, try to be persuasive, but also knowledgeable and kind first and foremost, right? Like just coming from a position of generosity, and but also holding firm to our stance. So yeah, moving on from that. Okay, so next we have here a tweet from ETH Staker saying, call to action, node operators should diversify their execution clients away from majority Geth setup. In the current supermajority execution client environment, there's significant monetary risk for operators running only Geth. Read about it here. And there's a link to a paragraph.xyz post where you can get information about how there are different execution clients. For example, of course, there's Geth, which most people are using. Then there's Nethermind, Besu, however you want to pronounce it, Aragon, and I think rETH is another one that's going to be coming online soon that people are working on right now. So, of course, Geth has a supermajority. It's over 66% of clients are using, validators are using Geth as their client. That, of course, is not sustainable. That is not good. That's really bad, because if there's an issue with Geth, it could cause a fork of Ethereum, and that would be very, very, very not fun to deal with. So this idea of wanting to move away from Geth, there have been a lot of discussions going on over the last year or so about how we should approach this issue. The idea was at the time that none of the execution clients were mature enough to be able to handle people shifting away. They weren't battle tested enough, let's just say. But now I guess, ETH Staker as a community who put ETH staking first and foremost, they are starting to raise the banner for moving away from a Geth as a supermajority client, kind of what happened with Prism in the past as a consensus layer client. I guess now they think that the other execution clients are good enough for you to move to, especially Nethermind and Besu, because they're the ones that have been used for the longest period of time. I personally use Besu, and yeah, that is, I think, something that we'll be hearing about a lot over the next few months, is trying to get this move and momentum for people to get away from Geth and onto other clients. Okay, so now finally moving on to some Rocket Pool stuff. Here there was a tweet thread from Ethan Hughes, or tweet. Ethan's been charting the growth and changes in LST platforms and how their market share has changed via since the Shanghai and Capella hard fork. So he says Lido Finance has gone down by 0.84%. This is as of a couple of days ago. Rocket Pool has gone up by 32.8%. Coinbase has gone down by 18%. Frax has increased by 50%, and Stakewise has gone down by 11%. And Ethan says it's pretty clear that the two winners are Rocket Pool and Frax, given that they're most decentralized versions of LSDs. In absolute terms, Rocket Pool has added the most staked ETH post-Chapella, 347,000 ETH. However, Frax appears to be leaning into the LSDeFi narrative and targeting the derivative to be used in other DeFi protocols, much like Lido's STETH, which could lead to greater adoption and higher TVL on their protocol. And this is an update from a post that they had in May, showing how growth was going after May, which again showed Rocket Pool and Frax being the two that had grown the most after Shanghai and Capella. So there was a comment here that lame.eth made saying, how can you elaborate on how Frax is decentralized? And Ethan says, I messed up on this one, as the Rocket Pool intern noted. We'll make sure not to make the same mistake again. So the Rocket Pool intern explained to Ethan how there were obviously limitations to Frax's decentralization, in that it is not decentralized at all. All of the Frax's validators run on one single node. And that, of course, is a massive single point of failure. There's no illusions or delusions of Frax being decentralized in any way, shape, or form. It's not something they prioritize at all. What they prioritize is their S-Frax ETH being most integrated and liquid token. And what's interesting here is Ethan Hughes talking about how they're leaning into the LSDeFi narrative of Fraxes. However, Rocket Pool is having integrations literally coming out like faster than I can keep track of, and it's literally my job to keep track of that kind of stuff. There's just so much stuff happening here in the Rocket Pool community as well, that I think it's a little bit disingenuous to say that we're not focusing on DeFi integrations for our ETH, but of course Rocket Pool's growth has been astronomical post Shanghai Capella and I think I hope it keeps continuing. Okay, talking about DeFi integrations, yesterday we got some news from Prisma Finance here. This is Prisma Finance, the end game for liquid staking tokens. So it has a post here about what they're trying to do. It's a new protocol that's launching. It says Prisma is a new DeFi primitive focused on unlocking the full potential of Ethereum liquid staking tokens, LSTs. It says Prisma allows users to mint a stablecoin, ACUSD, fully collateralized by liquid staking tokens. The stablecoin will be incentivized on Curve and Convex Finance to create a capital efficient flywheel where users can receive trading fees, Curve, Convex and Prisma tokens on top of their Ethereum staking rewards. Prisma codebase is completely immutable based on liquidity in order to create a robust protocol and truly decentralized stablecoin with favorable and flexible collateral parameters to make it attractive for those wanting to get the best out of their LSTs without tail risks from other stablecoins. The Prisma DAO will be in charge of parameters, emissions and protocol fees. So when I read this, first of all, I thought, wonderful, another integration for our ETH. It's really great. It's kind of like Gravitar that we've talked about a lot on Rocket Fuel, where you will deposit your rETH and other LSTs, and in return you will get their stablecoin, and then you can use that in DeFi. Like they're going to start with Curve and Convex, and then they'll be, I'm sure, moving on for other integrations from that for their stablecoin. Now, they are talking about they give information of the market at the moment and how it's all going, and they said that the assets that they'll be launching, supporting at launch, are wrapped ETH from Lido, wrapped STETH, CBETH from Coinbase, rETH from Rocket Pool, S-Frax ETH from Frax, and WBETH from Binance. So those are all liquid staking tokens that they'll be using. The interesting thing that makes this different from Gravitar is this line over here. It says Prism's codebase is completely immutable based on liquidity. So Gravitar have not made their contracts immutable at this moment because they have a roadmap of further products they want to launch and further tokens that they want to integrate into their stack. So their code is still mutable, they're still editable, still changeable. There's a multi-sig, that is handling that. So that's where we stand with Gravita at the moment. It seems like Prism is going to go more in line with what Liquidity is doing, and with Liquidity, of course, it's just ETH that you can deposit as collateral, whereas with Prisma, it'll be more that you can deposit LSTs, and Rocket Pool's rETH, of course, being one of those at launch. So this, of course, like I'm saying, great, more products coming online that are integrating rETH, and as we've seen from Gravita there, rETH pool is one of the first ones that gets filled up as their caps increase. So that's really cool. Okay, again, not directly related to Rocket Pool, but here we have an update from mentor.eth who's saying the date is set, everyone. This Saturday, the Rocketeer progeny will take off. So this is like the next generation of the Rocketeers that we've talked about on Rocket Fuel a couple of times already. It says when see cross time zone link, and then there's a dateful link there. You can see when it is, and then where will it happen? It will happen in the Rocket Pool Discord in the chit chat channel. And then what's the program? They'll talk about the designs and what's going on to that, explain the minting rules. There'll be a POAP, the people will start minting, and more. So the event will be taking place on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So it's like a slightly lower gas environment than during the weekdays, which is really nice. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. I think the Rocket Pool community now is much bigger than it was when the first generations of Rocketeers came out. So I have a feeling that this is going to get minted out quite quickly, especially, of course, since it's going to be a free mint for people. That is really nice. You'll just pay gas costs. With the first generation of Rocketeers, every 40th mint, you minted a second one for the Rocketeer DAO, or like their what they were keeping aside. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out, so we'll be getting information on the minting rules about how that's going to go as well. But that's really cool. So thank you, Mentor, for sharing that information. Okay, so again, like with Rocket Pool news being a little bit light yesterday, I released this post yesterday saying that Rocket Fuel's 200th episode is coming in around 3 weeks' time. Aiming for June 21st, but that might be out by a couple of days. It might be up to June 23rd, which will be a Friday, or maybe even June 26th, which will be the Monday after that, depending on how things are going over the next couple of weeks with like baby and everything. So I said I'll be doing a raffle to commemorate the occasion, like I did at 100 episodes. I said tickets to the raffle will be Rocket Fuel contributor POAPs. So I sent out the April POAPs. May POAPs will also be included in this. I haven't sent those out yet. I said I'm also going to sell a POAP for $10 each, which will act as a ticket for the raffle. Only one ticket per person will be used. All money donated made from the POAP sale will go to raffle prizes. I will keep nothing for myself. I will be accepting any crypto, NFTs, whatever you want as a donation to be given as prizes. I will also add RPL from myself as prizes. Please do not send any crypto to my ENS, as that will cause huge tax headache like it did last time. I'll be setting up a wallet for this specific purpose. Please reach out to me if you'd like to donate, and I'll share the address with you. If you'd like to donate anonymously, I will tweet out the address and include it in the description of Rocket Fuel videos in the coming days. So I'll be talking about that next. And I said I'm expecting to raise enough to have multiple thousands of dollars of prizes like I did in the first round, and I think this is going to be incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So I'm going to be hitting up people for prizes for the raffle. I'm going to be kind of shameless about it, and I can be shameless about it because, of course, like I said, I'm not keeping any for myself. This will all be going back to the community. This will be going back to Rocket Fuel contributors and people who buy the special POAP for the 200th episode. Here I made a tweet about it today saying that Rocket Fuel will be having a 200th episode celebration raffle. I'm asking for donations. You can send ETH, RPL, NFTs, or whatever you want, and then there's an Ethereum address to this address. I should get an ENS for it, but I'm kind of cheap. So if someone wants to donate an ENS, you can call it like Rocket Fuel Raffles or something and send it to that address. Awesome if you want to do that. And it says you can do it anonymously or message me on Discord and I can give you a shout out. Entry details soon. I've already had 2 people reach out to me with donation ideas, and once those are coming through, if they want shout outs, I'll start giving shout outs to people donating as well. So please, this is the pinned tweet on my Twitter now, so you can get the address for the donations right there in the tweet, and you can have a look. If you want to donate, you can reach out to me and ask questions about the process, how it's all going to work. If you want to do it anonymously, the address is right there in the tweet. Feel free to send whatever you want. It's most likely that I'll go towards having more prizes of less instead of fewer prizes of more, if that makes sense. So like each NFT will just be one separate prize. Any RPL or ETH will probably be bundled together in like batches of like, 1 RPL, 2 RPL, 5 RPL, whatever, like some set amount, just to have there be prizes so a lot of people can win. And of course each person can only win one prize, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. Okay, so talking about raffles, of course today is June 1st, so that means that in Rocket Fuel land, that is the Rocket Fuel contributor raffle. Here we have the Rocket Fuel leaderboard open. So this month again was a good month for people contributing. Mambo-san made 44 contributions. Sneaky Ninja made 40 contributions. Cheers made 30 contributions. Kevster made 21. Wolf made 13. Jasper 10. Dondo 9. Not You 8. Penvic 7. Trevor N 6. And that's like the top 10. In total we had 42 contributors, all the way down to Sleety with 1. I'm disappointed that Super Fizz didn't make a contribution this month. Sorry about that, Fizz. Like, normally you get in there with 1, but I guess you're not getting the POAP this time. Anyway, Cheers and the RPL Maxi were kind enough to make tickets for the raffle. This document is in the Rocket Fuel thread on Discord, so you can go and have a look. You can poke around the document. I asked people to audit it yesterday, but nobody came forward with that. So here is the list of the tickets. So Mambo-san, Sneaky, like everyone gets the number of tickets were in the line with how many contributions they had. So in total, there are 233 tickets. So the odds of winning are actually pretty nice, much better than normal, because in the past we've had like closer to 300 tickets or more than 300 tickets. So I'm just copying and pasting that link here on random.org, which is what I use. I scroll down on random.org and they have the list randomizer. So I go to the list randomizer here, and then what I do is I paste that list from the tickets into here. Let me show you on the screen. Oh, let me move my camera away from this so you can see what's going on. Yeah, so I copied and pasted the information from the Google Doc into random.org. I'm going to scroll down all the way to the end. If someone wants to sit there and count them, I guess they can. If they want to audit it, there's Sneaky, Mambo was first, then Jasper, Trevor, Cheers. Wait, this doesn't look like I pasted the right thing. What did I paste? March. I pasted March, not May. I'm sorry. That's why it didn't look right. I was like, what's going on over here? Okay, so I'm glad that I audited myself. Okay, let me remove this. Yeah, I'm glad I caught that. Okay, so here is the list. So there's Mambo, and then there's Sneaky. Yeah, this is the right list. Okay, so we have 256 tickets, and Sleety is the last. So let's put that into random.org. Yeah, okay, let me start at the top. So there's Mambo and Sneaky and Cheers and Kevster, Wolf, Jasper, Dondo, Not You, and going down, like those are all the people who've got all the tickets. On this, I'm going to add 5 tickets for Cheers, because Cheers was the person who helped the most in getting the list set up this month. And this is like what I do. Normally I divide it out between Cheers and RPL Maxi, but this time RPL Maxi said that they didn't really do that much work on it, so I'm just giving all 5 tickets to Cheers for helping out with that. If you want to help out as well, reach out to RPL Maxi or Cheers, and then I divide out 5 tickets per month across people who help out getting all the stuff gathered up and all the information set up. So now I'm going to press randomize right here at the bottom of the screen that you can see, and once I press that, it will just take me to a new page, and on the new page will be that same list of people, like 260 tickets or whatever it is, all in the random order, and everyone will get 1 prize. So I'll start skipping prizes as we as names are repeated. So I'm going to press randomize now. Okay, that's randomized. So Dondo gets a prize, Harpocrates gets a prize, Dondo again, so that's going to go. Cheers gets a prize, Kevster wins, good, congrats Kevster, I know it's been a long time coming. Vaka wins, Cheers, good, that's the second time for Cheers. Rocknet gets a prize, then that's the third time for Cheers. Romana gets a prize, then Cheers again, and Cheers again, and then Blue AVM, and then Cheers again, and Jasper. So I think Jasper might round out the top 10 over here. It might go on to Mambo in 19, but I'll have to have a closer look at it and like delete names as they're repeated. But yeah, that's the top list. I will post this whole list in the Rocket Fuel thread. 261 tickets in total. So you can have a look, and I will, yeah, you can see it on the screen as well. So you can see all the names right there. 261 names, 261 tickets. Thank you all for taking part. I'll reach out to people asking for their addresses, probably today or tomorrow, or next couple of days, and I will get $100 sent out to each of the people who came in the top 10. So on that note, that really happy note, I will end today's episode. Thank you all, especially my contributors. Like, without you guys, Rocket Fuel would not be possible. Thank you so much for the anonymous benefactor who funds the raffle prize every month, who generously donates the dollars for the prize. And thank you all for watching, listening, and taking part in being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.